All right. Actually, Chair Creasel, you're supposed to call to order.
Okay, thank you.
Just state the time.
Okay, the time is 3:24, and we are officially beginning the Santa Monica Human Services Commission meeting. Noe, if you could please conduct the roll call. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What's the call to order? So now we do the Pledge of Allegiance. Sorry, I'm jumping ahead.
Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag
To the flag of the
of the United
United
States
States
of
of
America,
America,
to the republic
to
for
the
which it
republic for which it
stands,
stands, one
one
nation,
nation, under God.
I have a question.
all
Where
Liberty
are
with
the
and
liberty
settings on
and
this
justice
app?
for all.
I'm sorry, Commissioner Raymer.
Where are where's the settings on this app of Blue Jeans?
Um,
Bottom
are you,
right
In order
hand.
to turn my camera on, it's asking me to go to settings, and I don't see. Oh, I guess it just turned itself on. Yeah, I think you should be able to see me now.
Not yet.
It says I have to go to settings. Okay, maybe they mean Apple settings.
There's a
I'll do that.
in the
There's-
bottom right hand. There's a
Yeah,
gear in
but
the bottom right.
it says it's not turned on. I have to go to settings, and I think it means Apple settings, not the app settings. So I'll do it. Don't worry about it. Eventually I'll get it.
okay?
Thank you. Noe, if you could do the roll call.
So will do. I am going to call roll based on how your names appear on the city clerk's roster. So Sonia Wilson, not here. Bruce Letty,
Here,
Alexis Hempel Elsie,
Here.
Waco Puchinsky, Pamela Raymer. Pamela Raymer. Pamela, can you hear me? We'll come back. David Pissarra, Vice Chair Cagle,
Here.
and Chair Creasel.
Here. Thank
Okay.
you.
Pamela Raymer, can you hear me?
I think she just rejoined.
Pamela, are you there?
Yeah.
There you are. We just took roll call and you are here, so we
Okay.
can move on.
Okay.
Did somebody else join the meeting just now, Noe?
now Pamela's on twice.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's double duty there.
Okay. Agenda item 1 is special agenda items. There are no special agenda items listed. The consent calendar is agenda item number 2. All items will be considered and approved in one motion unless removed by a member for discussion. And we are just reviewing the September 14th, 2022 minutes. Does anyone have any amendments to suggest for the minutes? I think I actually have one to suggest on agenda item number 9A. I'm sorry, not that one. Where is it? Okay, I'm sorry, it's I. Agenda item 9I. The ad hoc members included Bruce Letty, Alexis Hempel, Elisa, and myself, not David Pizarra. He was not part of that, to my knowledge.
Yeah,
So
I was pretty sure he was. That's why I reached out to him. But
Okay.
maybe.
Yeah. Okay, that was the only thing because, like I said, he didn't attend. So
No.
okay. So does anyone else have any amendments to the minutes? Okay.
What was the amendment? I'm sorry, for which item?
For number 9I, about the ad hoc. I didn't think that David Pizarro was a part of that, but Bruce is saying that he was. So is there any way we can verify that?
I have the video recording. I'll just have to look back on it.
Okay, thank you.
It's 9B as in Baker I, just so you know, because there's an AI and a BI and a wow.
Oh my gosh. Okay, thank you. Okay, so then if no one has any further discussion of the minutes, can we have a motion to accept the minutes as written with the possible amendment of that agenda item BI?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any objections?
No.
Any abstentions?
No.
I think Pamela Raymer, you would have had to abstain because you didn't attend.
I'm sorry.
You didn't attend the minute. I'm sorry, the meeting last week or last time.
Yeah, I wasn't there.
Yeah, you have to abstain. Okay. Great. And then study session is agenda item number 3. There's no items for the study session. Agenda item number 4, continued items. Discussion and possible action regarding the Human Services Commission mission statement. Alexis, if you could share the mission statement that the ad hoc came up with.
Sure. Let me quickly share my screen.
Okay, great.
Let me see. I'm clicking on it. There we go. I don't know why it's doing that. Hang on, give me 1 second.
Sure.
It's asking me to
If you're having any issues, you can also email it to me and I can share my screen.
Yeah, she knocked herself out of the meeting entirely.
Well, we don't have a quorum, so we'll have to wait for
Yeah.
some
Pause. Here she is.
oh, sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, there we go. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
It just booted me out when I was trying to share. Okay, so I'm going to share the screen.
Okay.
Here we go. Can everybody see that?
Yes.
I'm going to enlarge it just a bit so you can all. Is that good?
Yes, that's readable. Thank you.
Okay, so do you want me to just read what we came up with, or should I read all of the notes prior, or I'll just read through what we came up with?
Yeah, if you could just read the statement draft that you have, that would be perfect.
Okay. The Santa Monica Human Services Commission, HSC, is collaborative and multidimensional, and our priorities are directly aligned with the City Council. Our goal is to support City Council priorities and strategies involving the well-being, equity, and needs of residents, including youth and families, intersectional people with disabilities, low-income, vulnerable, and at-risk seniors, as well as people experiencing homelessness.
Great. So I just want to open the meeting to have any kind of discussion relating to the adoption of the mission statement before we set a motion to accept it. So is there any clarifying questions or any discussion that you have about the statement that we've come up with. Yes,
I
Bruce.
have a question.
Actually, Bruce has his hand up, and then I
It
can.
looks like okay. Well, it's just as I was reading it, it looks like it says at risk and vulnerable seniors. Does that mean we don't deal with regular senior problems, only for the ones that are vulnerable and at risk? Or does it mean that it's seniors because your seniors are vulnerable, so all seniors are included? It's a little confusing statement.
Yeah, it's inclusive of seniors that are at risk of homelessness, of other kinds of institutionalization, other kinds of issues as a result of their senior status or their elder status.
Okay, so this is really only for vulnerable seniors. So
right.
Is there somewhere
That's
else
within the
that
purview of the
seniors are
Human
taken
Services
care of?
Commission.
The needs of seniors are taken care of?
I'm
Somewhere
sorry, I
else
can't
in
hear
the
you.
council?
I'm
Is
sorry, I
there
can barely
another
hear you.
division? Okay.
Hello?
Is there another division in city council that takes care of seniors who are not necessarily vulnerable or homeless, but do have issues?
I'm so sorry. I didn't catch a lot of what you said because you were muted or fading in and out.
I am not muted, but I don't know why I was going in and out, so I'm going to repeat it. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay. So what I'm saying is that is there another division in the city council that deals with senior issues or issues of seniors that are not necessarily homeless or sick?
Yeah. So there was a seniors commission
Okay.
during the pandemic. I'm not sure if they are still going or if they were consolidated into a different commission. No, we don't have insight on that.
Okay, so is Human Services Commission responsible for all seniors or only vulnerable seniors, according to City Council?
So the Senior Commission was sunset. It's no longer active, and it was grouped in with this commission.
Okay.
Oh,
Thank you for
okay, then maybe the wording should reflect that we do care for all seniors.
So like
including at risk and vulnerable ones.
Right. So in essence, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's basically then youth, families, intersectional people with disabilities, seniors, and people experiencing homeless as well as other at-risk and vulnerable.
Right, exactly. So homeless people may not necessarily be seniors, but they're still
right.
Right, exactly.
To me, I read it. I wasn't on the commission putting this together, but the way I read it, I took Commissioner Raymer. I read it with, as already being there. To me, when I read at-risk senior, I assume any senior who needs help is one that would come under this commission. An independent senior who needs nothing would not be within the jurisdiction of this commission. But any senior, we don't want to get into the nitty-gritty of defining. We're not defining here that you have to be at a certain income level.
Statement.
I'm going to finish my thought though. At a certain income level or something. If we start defining populations too granularly, I think we will miss people. So I was just gonna, for argument's sake, say that I read it as including all seniors who might need help that come within the purview of this commission. So I just wanted to offer that point as a reader.
Right. Well, that's not how I read it when I was reading it. The way I read it was it only included those seniors who are at risk and vulnerable. What you're saying is that all seniors are at risk and vulnerable, and that's not necessarily true. And it should be all inclusive of the population, and seniors are a population in itself. That's my point of view.
Thank you. Bruce, did you have I saw your hand up.
Yeah, I had a couple things. So just on this one point, there's already a list on our homepage of which groups we cover in the responsibilities, jurisdiction, and authority. And it says social, economic, and wellness needs of vulnerable community members, including but not limited to marginalized populations, low-income households, older adults, so that refers to basically any seniors, women and girls, including transgender women and girls, people of color, and people experiencing homelessness. So I feel like that list is already there. I'm not sure that it also needs to be in the mission statement. So my other, can you bring back the statement as you have it right now? Yeah, thanks. I don't really understand what multidimensional means. It just seems like a term, but I don't know what it means. So maybe you can explain that. And then I felt like maybe there was some redundancy because it says our priorities are aligned with the city council and our goal is to support the city council priorities. Seems like we're kind of going over the same ground a little bit there.
I think we can change that language to we advise the city council. Not only are we aligned with them, but we are advised. Our goal is to advise the city council, as Noe pointed out earlier. I think that would be a good revision. Thank you, Bruce.
I guess I just also question, are we completely aligned with city council, or is our goal to advise them, which may sometimes be to say, we don't think where you're going with this program is the right way to go, or we don't support this, ordinance that you're putting out there because it's going to harm vulnerable people or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to overstate how lockstep we are with city council.
Right. I think that's a good point. I think that, as an advising body, we do, advise in support or in opposition. And I think that that's, something that we're accountable to do.
I think one of the things that kind of came from was when Nicole gave that presentation. So like I put together like her entire presentation, and it was on my original email, where she dives in onto every single little thing that we do and where we fall in relation to the entire city government plan, if you will, or department. And that's where it kind of came from, is that, how she was saying that we actually are aligned with them. But I mean, we could definitely take that out. That basically we're underneath the Housing and Human Services Department, and we are here to do specific things, such as, she was saying our priorities are set forth by basically city council, and we're aligned with those, which are to do, which are behavioral health, the homeless count. But she was saying like the priorities were equitable and inclusive economic recovery, preventing homelessness and addressing it in a clean, safe Santa Monica. And she was just mentioning that we are working on a variety of different things, such as like the HSGP, and then the behavioral health strategy, as well as the homeless count. So I think in what she was kind of talking about is like, okay, so here's what they have already identified as as the priorities for city council, and here's where they've kind of already defined, they being the department that we are underneath, is like, here's what you guys are going to do to help support that. So it's like, in a way, I guess you can say either we're supporting it or we're in line with that, or however you want to say it, but it's like we have already sort of these things that we're kind of accountable for. of working on. Like basically, she said it.
Yeah, I think it's more succinct to say that city council sets the priorities and we advise, on, the city council on those priorities.
Yeah.
So just also keeping in mind the mission statements of the other commissions, which are really just like 2-line things that, I think it's good to not get too specific so that so no one can say, well, but that doesn't fit with what your original mission statement was. An edit I would suggest is to maybe say the goal of the Santa Monica Human Services Commission is to advise the city council and continue from there. So you sort of lose that first half of the second half of that first sentence.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
I'm just throwing this stuff out there. I'm a big fan of being as simple and succinct as we can be. So to talk about priorities twice just seemed a little.
Yeah, no, I definitely think we could like remove that redundancy. But what's really funny, on the original email, I had also indicated in a 7-page document, I compiled all of the mission statements for all of the city's commissions, and some are actually paragraphs long.
Right.
So some are a little bit more wieldy, but they have like a lot going on, I guess.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, so it's like, but here we can definitely remove. Okay, so you said the goal of the Santa Monica.
Yeah, my suggestion, and again, totally open for debate, but would be to cut from after HSC, cut to our goal. So it just says HSC is to advise. So it would be through our goal.
And maybe actually talk, more about what kinds of issues we advise the city council on, not so much populations.
So like this?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so the goal of the Santa Monica Human Services Commission is to advise city council, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it should be on priorities or, yeah.
Okay.
Of residents.
And should we qualify residents as a general thing to be, to put vulnerable there, or underserved, or some qualifier? Because it's not all residents. It's
right.
Specifically the people in need.
You could put advise. Well, I'm sorry. You could advise people on priorities and strategies involving the well-being, equity, and needs of vulnerable, at-risk residents and people experiencing homelessness.
Oh, I like that. That's good. Because also youth and families is not necessarily in our purview. It's not listed as one of the groups.
It actually is. Like we actually deal with CDS, and which is the after-school program, and that's part of also the parks. So there's all the Virginia Avenue Park. That's all within us.
I don't know. Maybe Noe can. I know that that's part of the human resources division of Santa Monica, but Parks and Recreation has their entire own commission. All the youth and after school programs and stuff is all under their purview. So, and it's not listed as one of our groups that we are supposed to be looking out for in this responsibilities, jurisdiction, and authority thing.
Our purview is anything that sort of falls under social services.
Right.
Okay.
So, Alexis, how would you feel about adding vulnerable before the word residents?
Yeah. Sorry, I said, okay, hang on. I was just looking at my notes. Vulnerable. Okay, so wait, involving the well-being, equity, and needs of vulnerable residents, including youth.
Yeah, if you could add vulnerable, low-income, and at-risk residents and people experiencing homelessness. Thank you.
Yeah, because there again, disabilities is a whole separate commission. So
right.
Okay, so at-risk residents, including youth, families, And then take everything else out until, take this entire section out.
I think
Yeah.
we're leaving. Were you going to leave low income in?
It's in the sentence
Already
above.
up there.
Yeah. Why
Oh,
don't
I
you-
see
think-
it. No, it's above. Yeah.
So then like this,
Vulnerable, low income, and at-risk residents, including, well as people. Yeah, that looks good.
Well, then
Can
you
I
should
add?
also include seniors with youth.
Yeah, I
and
was just going to
families,
say
right?
that
Okay.
too, including youth and families, comma, seniors, comma, as well,
Right.
and people.
Yeah.
I don't know if you need as well as, you can just say and.
And people. Yeah. Good.
Let's see what we've done.
Yes. Yeah, that's a really a succinct statement.
I like it.
perfect.
So should
Good,
we?
good teamwork.
Yes. So
Thanks for being
Noe-
flexible on it.
Yeah. Noe, so we need to make a motion and do a vote, a roll call vote. Is that correct?
That is correct. I would just read it out loud, so that everybody, as well as anybody who might be watching this,
Mhm.
knows what the motion is voting for.
Okay.
What statement?
Right. So we just edited the statement to read, the goal of the Santa Monica Human Services Commission is to advise City Council on priorities and strategies involving the well-being, equity, and needs of vulnerable, low-income, and at-risk residents, including youth and families, seniors, and people experiencing homelessness. Do I have a motion? Oh,
I
I'm sorry.
move to accept this mission statement.
Great.
Second.
Do you have a second?
Yes, okay.
Okay, great. Roll call vote. Noe, if you could proceed with that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Just one little tiny grammatical, former English major. Can we add a comma after low income so those two things aren't considered together, that you're low income and at risk is, yeah, those are separate categories. Thank you. Now I move to accept it.
Second.
Yes, I can take roll call. Sorry, I did not have your faces on the screen. Who seconded it?
Oh, me,
Alexis.
Alexis. It was
Alexis. Cool. I'm just taking my notes. All right. So we'll start from in order once again. Bruce Letty,
Yes.
Alexis Hempel Elsie,
yes.
Pamela Raymer,
Yes.
Vice Chair Cagle,
Your mic was
right.
off.
Sorry, yes.
okay, and Chair Creasel.
Yes.
Motion passes. If you can forward me the final approved mission statement, I can get that up on the website and send it over to the city clerk's office.
Perfect.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
I'm gonna stop sharing. There we go.
Great. So then agenda item number 4B, discussion and possible action regarding the time for the Human Services Commission meeting. So the next meeting is scheduled for January. Do you have an exact date, Noe, at this point?
So your meetings occur on the first Wednesday, so it would be January 4th.
January 4th. All right. And typically, I think according to our charter, we are scheduled to meet at 3 p.m. That is, I think, hard for the majority of commissioners. And so the question is whether we could meet, if you want to continue meeting at this time, if you want to adjust the time to meet in the morning, in the afternoon, or after hours. And so I'm going to open the item open for discussion and questions to clarify. Just let us know what works for you and what doesn't. Bruce.
I know this is tricky for, everybody has different priorities, and so I don't want to push for something that's going to make it tough for someone who has little kids or dinner time or whatever. For me personally, non-work hours are better. To at least go after 5 o'clock, maybe like 6. But if that's a bad time for other people, then maybe it's even later. I can try, most times I'll be able to try to do the 3 p.m., but I just, when I'm busy with a show or whatever, it won't ever work for me. So maybe the best thing to do, since also we only have a small group of us today, maybe we should still do the survey to see like what are hours that people absolutely can't do, or, what are their top 3 choices or something. And then take it from there. I'm not sure I guess what I'm saying is I'm not sure with the 5 of us, we can really decide what's going to work for everybody. But then again, they didn't show up, so maybe we should decide for them. I don't know.
I would prefer meeting after hours, after 5:30. That's my preference. And of course, I'm, as I said before, I'm willing to conduct further research and scheduling and send off a doodle to everyone to get, their 2 cents.
Tamara or Alexis or Pamela, do you guys have times that really don't work for you in general?
I think we really should ask everybody and then otherwise we'll end up in this situation always where we can't even have a quorum. So we really need to email everyone and then go with whatever the majority wants. And for me, after 6 is perfect.
I do.
But I'm
prefer-
also flexible. It's not that I won't be able to. I'll just have to make sure that I will be able to make the meeting.
Thank you. Tamara?
I actually do prefer to keep it at the 3 o'clock time. I also work like Bruce, and so it's not ideal. I won't be able to make it every single time, but I do always have childcare during this time, so that is my preference. The 5 o'clock hour is just the worst for me. However, if the majority of commissioners move it to after work hours, I would just ask for a little later. 7 or later is my ideal second choice.
Okay.
And I was on a commission previously that did meet at 7, and I did make the majority of the meetings.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Alexis?
I am pretty flexible, and can make things work. So I think I'm easier.
Okay.
So
All
it
right.
sounds like, at least among us, maybe 7 o'clock would be the intersection of preferences. But why don't we poll the rest of them? First of all, if they're still going to participate,
Yeah.
and if not, we'll just go ahead and move it. But
Okay. So what I'm going to do then is I will design a doodle poll, and send that out in the next week to commissioners. And if everyone can just fill that out, even though I have written down everything that everyone said, that would be great, and then we can kind of go from there.
perfect.
Thank you, everyone. So agenda item 4C, discussion and possible action to adapt the bylaws. Has everyone reviewed the bylaws? And if you have, do you have any amendments that you would like to propose?
Well, I mean, it includes the time of the meeting, and so I don't know whether we need to put a pin in that until we've made the decision or not.
I agree. I think we need to hold off for the moment until we have the time established. What does everyone else think? Yeah. Okay, thank you.
The rest
Um,
is kind of boilerplate, it's.
yeah, yeah, I would agree. Okay, so we'll table the bylaws until next time. A continued agenda item number 4D, discussion and possible action in regards to the commission meetings to take place in person. So Noe, what are the policies and procedures around that?
Yeah. So right now, the boards and commissions have the option, it has to be unanimous, to meet in person. What will change is that you will meet at City Hall chambers, and there will be no hybrid model. So it won't be half of you can be in person, the other half on computer. We don't have that support or technology. I say yet, but I don't know in the future. We might. Um, Public comment will have to be in person or submitted via email. We will not be able to take callers or people via Zoom. It is all in or not.
I see.
So
Okay,
yeah, it's
that's
one of
what
those things where you could vote on it, but also it might affect the people who are not present today.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yes, Bruce.
I feel pretty strongly that doing it by Zoom is the most inclusive way to do it, to have our meetings, that encourages public participation better than if it's in person and people have to come down during their work hours if they want to make a comment. I would hope that it would increase our odds of having more commissioners attend, since it's so easy to do and you're not having to travel. And so my vote would be to try to keep it this way for now.
Mine too. I agree.
Tamara and Alexis, do you have any preference?
I don't. I like either way. I
Okay,
think this is easier in terms of like if we were meeting, late at night and
right.
traveling, and I think that might be travel time. I don't know if we're all very, very close to the chambers, but yeah, this seems pretty easy.
Mhm. Yeah, I would agree with that.
I agree. I think that we will reach the most people and be able to hear from the most people, which is important by Zoom. So I would encourage us to continue via
Okay.
Zoom. My one caveat would be I would encourage us as commissioners to do at least one retreat during the year in person, where I think that's beneficial to a good commission.
Mhm.
But
I would
that
agree with that, Tamara, and I would propose, Noe, if you could add that as an agenda item for next time. We can talk about how we want to plan our retreat for next year. Thank you so much for raising that, Tamara. Do we need to vote on this, Noe, to keep it things as they are, or can we just proceed?
I would say we could vote, because even if
Okay.
somebody who is absent who says they would like to meet in person, all of you just said you'd rather meet virtually, which means that you'd continue to meet virtually. So I think for the sake of moving forward, we should vote, and of course we can always bring this item back at a future date.
Okay, great. Does anyone want to make the motion to keep the meetings in a virtual status? Bruce makes
Yes,
the motion.
I would move that we remain a virtual meeting until further notice.
Great. Any second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Pamela. All in favor? Did we need to do roll call on this? Oh, we do, because it's virtual. No, if you could conduct the roll call, please.
Yes, we'll do. Once again, going in the order by which you appear on the city clerk's roster: Bruce Leddy,
Yes.
Alexis Hempel-Elsie,
Yes.
Pamela Raymer,
Yes.
Vice Chair Cagle,
Yes.
Chair Creasel,
Yes.
motion passes.
Thank you, everyone. Okay, so that concludes the agenda items for number 4.
Could I,
On-
sorry, could I just, I had requested within the agenda that when we were discussing the meeting time, we would also discuss the frequency. And I forget where the response came from, but it was sort of like, yes, we'll discuss that too, but I'm not seeing it here. It's frequency in terms of, my concern that when we become just a quarterly meeting, we're just going to get so little done in the course of a year. And that I don't quite understand or support the idea of the commission being even bi-monthly. To me seems like not enough time to get things done, but at the very least I would like to propose we continue as bi-monthly instead of quarterly. So I don't know, Noe, is that something we can discuss if it's not officially on the agenda? Is it something that we would have to bring to City Council in some way, or how does that work?
Actually, we can discuss it as a continuation of item 4B, discussion and possible action regarding the time for the Human Services Commission meeting. That does fit within the purview of time, what you just described. We just, the frequency was something that we just neglected to consider. So if we, Noe, can we go back to agenda 4B?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go back to agenda 4B and talk about frequency. So our next meeting is scheduled for January 4th. Bruce, you are wanting to meet before then, is that correct?
No, it's more a matter of bi-monthly moving forward. Next year was when we were going to start being quarterly. So
it's actually, I think, in 2023. Is that correct, Noe?
Yeah, in the new year. So this will be your
Okay.
last.
My brain is stuck on 2022. I think, sorry, 2022 is next year.
Right.
So we are, so next year we're going to be meeting January, March, May, July, September, and November. Is that correct?
No, it would be January, April,
Oh, okay.
July, and October, November. There would only be 4 meetings for the year.
Yeah. So what you're wanting to do is to move it to either special meetings or every other month.
Every other month as the regular schedule, and then if we want more, we could do special meetings. But
that's a good question in terms of because our charter says we have to meet quarterly. Is that correct, Noe?
Yes. So I'm not exactly 100% sure. I've had commissions move their meeting dates and times. I haven't come across one who changed the frequency of their meeting. If you would like to discuss it, just to kind of get an idea of what people are feeling, I will also follow up with the city clerk's office and see if we are allowed to do that, or if it's something that was, put into motion by city council. Or
right.
Yeah,
that would be really great if you could conduct that research and then let us know how to proceed. If we need to conduct a vote or how we need to proceed to change that.
Yeah, definitely. And I also imagine it's something that the absent commissioners might want to weigh in on also.
Right. Perfect. Great. Thank you, Bruce, for having us revisit that agenda item.
Yeah, I just, it feels a little like they combined multiple commissions that used to meet monthly into one commission that's going to meet quarterly. It just feels very marginalizing to me. I just want to be sure we're able to get some good work done and be helpful.
And I also think too, there's a lot to be said for the ad hocs. The ad hocs can meet at different times than the general meeting, the commission meetings are scheduled with greater frequency. And so there's that we should consider as well.
For sure.
Great, thank you. So we'll move on to agenda 5. Agenda number 5, staff administrative items. Are there any staff administrative items, Noe? I guess
Sorry,
not.
I have multiple windows open and I just try to find this one.
Oh,
No, there are not. I just imagine that the following remaining two items would kind of fall under that if you want to just skip to that.
okay. Okay, great. So moving quickly then to agenda item number 6, public hearing. There is no public hearing. Agenda item number 7, resolutions. There are no resolutions to consider. Agenda item number 8, written communication. There are no written communications. Agenda item number 9A, Human Services Commission member discussion items, discussion and possible action regarding commissioner participation in the 2023 homeless count. Please save the date for the 2023 homeless count on Wednesday, January 25th. The count will begin around 10:30 p.m. and the location is currently being finalized. Volunteer registration will open soon, and commissioners will be notified by email when more details become available. We strongly encourage you to bring together friends and family to form 3 to 4 person teams and register in advance. Noe, do you have more on
that? Yes. Hello. Hi, everyone. I actually came from homeless services. I used to work for a nonprofit. So the homeless count happens every year, and it happens all over LA County. And there are different hub stations, people who are hosting these, mostly the city officials. And what happens is that people volunteer, and they meet up at night. And what happens is that they get put in groups and given a particular route to walk a couple times. And you literally just walk up and down counting people, individuals sleeping on the street, tents on the street, people sleeping in their car, and you note all that down. It does run fairly late, and the results are posted on, I forget the website. I'm sorry, I forgot the website, but it shows you the maps of, congested areas, places where people are, more present, and kind of it does give you an overall number. I know they skipped the one not the one last year, but the previous year due to COVID. I think right now the number is up to 56,000 homeless individuals in LA County. So it's not a mandatory thing. It's just something that kind of falls under the Human Services Commission purview. So, it's nice for the commission to get involved to kind of see what are the issues that you will come across.
Thank you, Noe. And will there be further information provided about how to register?
Yeah. So I know things aren't finalized yet. So once they are, they will email all of city staff, I believe, as well as all of the commissions.
Okay.
Not mandatory, like I said. So it's
Okay.
just if you'd like to join.
Bruce.
So I don't know if you guys have done this before. I've done it, I don't know, 6 or 7 years. It's not as intimidating as it might sound. First of all, even though all of LA County is doing it at the same time, you're only going to be looking around Santa Monica. The one change based on COVID, and I assume they're doing it again this year just because it says come as a 3 to 4 person team. They used to put you together with other people and say, you 3 go in his car and drive around this area or whatever. Now, because of COVID, people don't want to be stuck in a car with people they don't know or whatever. You need to come in as a team. But if you don't have a team, you can still have a function. Last year, I wasn't on a team. So I helped with just, like in the parking area where people arrive, directing people where to check in and how to get their maps and that kind of stuff. So there's lots of roles to be filled. It's actually kind of a fun thing. Like it's just this great community spirit and a lot of good energy out there trying to do this positive thing. And it's really important because the count is mandated by Health and Human Services at the federal level in order for Santa Monica to qualify for funds. So it's only required to be done every other year, but Santa Monica does it every year in order to have a more accurate reflection of how well their programs are doing or where they might not be doing well. So that's just a little bit more background. I really encourage you to do it if you're at all interested or you're available.
Thank you, Bruce, for that context and those insights. Alexis. Oh, you're muted.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I just have a quick question. In that evening, do you indicate like if somebody's in a car versus
Right.
tent? And
Yeah.
Okay. And
Yes,
is there, like in the data crunching, is there a percentage, like any metric kind of allocated towards people that are like actually don't live here?
No. Yeah, the city is doing informational outreach. I think there's this Moss Adams group that is doing a statistical analysis of the homeless situation here, and they're getting into those kind of details. But on the
Okay.
homeless count, because it's untrained volunteers, there's no interaction with the people at all.
Okay.
It's purely observing. We saw these people living in their car. We saw this guy over here in the park, whatever. You don't approach anybody. You don't talk to anybody. It's just, trying to get a map of where homeless people are hanging out. And they also have people who count at the shelters. When they send people to the more heavily congregated areas like the beach or the promenade, you actually go with police officers so that there's no safety risk to anybody. So yeah, and in your chart, you get a chart of like where you went, and you mark like, here's where we saw a tent, here's where we saw people in a car, here was a camper, or these were people on the street, or that kind of thing.
Got it.
Great. So Noe will notify everyone when there's more information and provide an opportunity to register if you're interested. Thank you so much for those insights.
And just
Go ahead.
throwing it out there, it could be something that you as a commission could do in small teams to build that rapport before the actual retreat,
It's a good idea. Thank you. And then agenda item 9B, discussion and possible action regarding commissioner participation in the Human Services Grants Program Rater Panel Statement of Interest. City staff is partnering with We Are Santa Monica Fund Advisory Board to conduct an open solicitation for qualified individuals to participate in the review of the HSGP proposals. Interested individuals should submit a statement of interest by Monday, November 14th, that's next week, and agree to provide their time on a volunteer basis. More information, including the link to the statement of interest and submission instructions, can be found at, and it provides the link on the agenda if you are interested in that. Noe, do you have further information?
Yeah, this one, once again, it's also volunteer basis, but this is an item that Nicole sent me, and it is one that, these are, if you get accepted, you'd be going over proposals for grants and kind of be up there seeing where funding is going, or kind of helping make those choices. And it is one of the things that, because you are in the Human Services Commission, it would be great if you considered volunteering for that.
Great. Does anyone have any further questions about that one? Wonderful. And then agenda item number 10, public input. Is there any public input? We have no public input. Okay. So with that, it is 4:18 and I will adjourn the meeting. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you so much, everyone, for attending. And I will reach out to you soon with a doodle for the next meeting, and then we'll proceed from there.
Great.
When is the scheduled next meeting?
I'm sorry?
When is the meeting scheduled for next? Is it next
It's
year now?
yeah, it's January 4th of next year.
And we don't know the time yet.
Yeah, at 3 p.m. But we're trying to reschedule and send out a
Got it.
doodle poll. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, everyone.